I'm Rob from Barefoot Gaming, and this is the Lenovo Star Wars Jedi Challenges review. So I'm going to describe Star Wars Jedi Challenges as an augmented reality experience. So what I'm saying is it's not like virtual reality. Everything is not closed off. It's not like mixed reality, which apparently is just virtual reality, but branded mixed reality by Microsoft. It is an augmented reality where you will see the rest of the room and the rest of the environment that you're in. What this uses is your own personal phone, and it supports a ridiculous amount of phones. It supports far more phones than it actually shows on their website. All that matters is your screen has to fit into a certain rectangle, and they have piles of settings on how to find that. It slides into the side of the headset and it reflects it off of a mirror into your eyes. So when you're wearing it, you're looking around the room like normal, except you're seeing Star Wars stuff happening. I picked up a GoPro from a friend of mine and I put it inside. So it's not going to be fantastic viewing quality, but I want you to kind of have an idea of what it really looks like. Unedited, you're going to see some overlap, but it'll give you an idea of how clear it is when you're watching. There are multiple connectors because, again, depending on whether you're running an iPhone or an Android or whatever you're running, there's multiple connectors from your phone to the headset. And the way it works is it tracks based off of this tiny little beacon. And this beacon, when you put it on the floor, it'll have you calibrate your lightsaber to it. And super important, and this is something that I didn't know going into this is not just a lightsaber game. Now, it does use a lightsaber controller, and the controller itself has two different buttons. So there is a small button on the front, and then there is a button on the side that you can press, and it does everything with those two. Now, I'm also going to mention that there are controls on the top right end of the headset. So it's like menu options up and down if you need, which you do sometimes. There's also a multiplayer option if you have somebody else that has one of these. I don't know anyone else that has one, so I wasn't able to try that out. I apologize. And again, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself because there's so much to unpack. Now, I'll start with the Lightsaber Battles. The way it works is there are multiple levels, and in each level are multiple stages. So you can't just fight the big baddie in a level. You'll have to fight, your basic droids, and then your advanced droids, and then you get to fight the boss. And that's how the Lightsaber Battles work. You'll have different stuff happening around you. Sometimes they're within reach, sometimes they're not. Sometimes you'll have to use ranged attacks to be able to damage them. It does matter how you hold your lightsaber for blocking incoming shots and the like. And when you're blocking lightsaber slices, like when they're coming in to attack, you need to hold it in a specific spot, which will also light up. Lots of planets, lots of different options for the Lightsaber Battle. Next up is the Hollow Chess Battle, and if you've seen Star Wars, which I assume you will have, if you have any interest in this review, it is the table that Chewie does battle at. It looks kind of like chess, and the way it works is you've got different kinds of chess pieces that you move. Some of them have a greater range, some of them have shorter range, some do more damage, they can take multiple hits. It's your turn, then the AI's turn, your turn, AI's turn, whoever has pieces left at the end wins. Last but not least, there is the RTS, or real-time strategy part of the game. So this one is a little harder to describe as well. It lays out on the floor in front of you, and it's divided in half. So you have the Imperials on one side, the Rebels on the other. You control the Rebels, you choose where they go, you choose where buildings get placed. Not a lot of buildings, more buildings as far as turrets. As you move up in levels, you will unlock more units, and it's actually quite well done. It's neat watching little Star Wars figures battle in front of you that you have control over. So we don't normally score hardware, and I'm not going to score hardware here either. However, this hardware comes with games, and we scored the crap out of games, and that's what I'm going to do. Let's talk about the hardware first, shall we? Because that really plays into all the games. I was really impressed at the graphic quality. Honestly, I'm using an S6 Edge, but again, it works on a slew of different phones. And the color quality, the way the images looked, all fantastic. The Hollow Chess looks probably the least cool as far as realistic, but you could tell we were going for that hologram look, so I can't even slight them for that. Graphics look great. Next up, tracking. Now, the tracking is where this thing is going to get kind of a pro and kind of a con. When it asks you to put your lightsaber in a certain spot, it will know when it's in the correct spot. However, it constantly loses precise tracking on where your controller is, and that matters. Now, if you are a little bit of an older gamer, even to the point of playing Wii, you know how you have to reset your Wiimote every once in a while? You have to do that frequently here. And they made it simple, so all you have to do is look down at your lightsaber, press the button, and your blade should straighten out in accordance to where the handle is, but it happens a lot. Another issue I'm gonna list for a con on this thing is I'm so used to having things in virtual reality stay where they were. And what I'm getting at is here, when you move your head around because you're, getting shot from different angles, what'll happen is things will move up, they'll move down. If you're fighting an opponent, they're floating off in the distance. They're not standing on the ground, which is fine. I can get my head around that. But if I look to the side because I'm blocking and I look back, he might have been raised up or moved down. So the limitation is definitely that little tracking ball that the headset tracks everything to. So it is what it is, but it's fine. But I had a friend try this and he actually felt a little motion sick, which is weird because you don't move forwards and backwards. Everything comes at you. And I think what he was getting it from is he was getting it from the fact that objects aren't where they're supposed to always be. It's not like they jerk around, but they do a little bit. They do move up, they do move down, and it messes with your head a little bit. Minor con I'm gonna list is the fact that my phone got really, really hot because there is no fan, there's no vent. It's designed to hold it close to give you a good reflection, and honestly, back to the Pro, it is a good reflection. It's not black and white, it's in all kinds of color. Now let's get on to the games. The Lightsaber Battle, it's neat, and it does make you feel kind of Jedi-ish, especially when everything is working. The blaster bolts are coming back at you. You can't just block them and hope it'll come back. Angle of your blade is going to matter. So that was a major pro. The voice of the droids or the people that are attacking you, very well done. However, when you're fighting stuff that doesn't have a lightsaber, it feels really floaty. You step in and they may move back when you step in, not because they step back, but because again, there's a tracking issue with that orb. Very frustrating, and that really pulled me out of it. I'm gonna give the Lightsaber Battle part of this like a 2.5 out of 5. It only gets that high because there are so many variations of what you can all fight. Everything from your basic droids to tanks to you name it. Now, the Holo Chess was the least interesting for me. It was done well, it's just not an interesting game. So they have a set number of pieces, you have a set number of pieces. They can amp up the difficulty, and it's still just a really simplified version of chess where you're seeing animated monsters fight on a table. I give it like a 1.5 out of 5. It's not interesting. I went into it a couple times and I found it boring. However, the part that grieves me the most is the RTS battle simulator on the ground. Lenovo, you guys need to release this in virtual reality. I loved the concept. I didn't love the fact that my aim was a little wonky. Things didn't always line up where I wanted. Give me more enemies, give me more heroes, because right now I think there's like 10 or 12 you can choose from, different kinds of stuff you can deploy. Up that, put me in VR, I would love it. In AR, it's neat to see it on the floor, but it's not precise. And we kind of are at this stage in technology where floaty and rough isn't good enough. 2.5 out of 5, wonderful concept, but in the end, it's just, there's not enough meat on the bones. That is the review of the Star Wars Jedi Challenges by Lenovo. The price on this thing goes for anywhere between, it's around $100 US right now. When it came out, it was quite a bit more, but that's where it's sitting now. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to know when our other videos are coming out. Like if you like it, comment if you have any questions. I will do my best to help you guys out. I will talk to you again real soon. See ya.